6 months ago, a retired school teacher drove her 2018 Toyota Camry into my shop. Check engine light blazing, fuel economy down 7 miles per gallon. The engine was running rough at idle and hesitating on acceleration. She'd already been to a dealership that told her she needed 2 new oxygen sensors at $450 each, plus labor. She was looking at a $1,200 repair bill on a car that was otherwise perfectly fine. Something felt off to me. Before replacing anything, I decided to run a few tests. The oxygen sensors were reading sluggishly, but the voltage patterns told a different story. These sensors weren't dead. They were dirty. I cleaned them using a specific Japanese method I learned from a Toyota factory technician years ago. 2 days later, she came back beaming. Check engine light gone. Fuel economy back to normal. Engine running smooth. Total cost? Less than $15. Here's what most people don't understand. Oxygen sensors don't just suddenly fail. They degrade gradually. They get coated with deposits. They slow down. And when they slow down, your engine's computer gets bad information and starts making wrong decisions about fuel mixture. Rich running, poor economy, failed emissions tests, rough idle, all from a sensor that's not actually broken, just dirty. I've been working on Japanese cars for 19 years, and this cleaning method works on Toyotas, Hondas, Mazdas, Subarus, Nissans, and Lexus vehicles. In this video, I'm revealing the exact Japanese method that cleans oxygen sensors properly without damaging them. Let's get into it. Understanding why oxygen sensors get dirty. Your oxygen sensor sits in the exhaust stream and measures how much oxygen is present in the exhaust gases. The computer uses this information to adjust the fuel mixture thousands of times per minute. A clean, fast sensor means accurate readings and perfect combustion. A dirty, slow sensor means bad data and poor engine performance. Here's what contaminates oxygen sensors over time. Carbon deposits from incomplete combustion. Every time your engine runs slightly rich, unburned fuel passes through the exhaust and coats the sensor. Over thousands of miles, these deposits build up and insulate the sensing element. Oil ash contamination. If your engine burns even a small amount of oil, the combustion byproducts coat the sensor. This is especially common on higher mileage Subarus and Honda engines that consume oil. Fuel additive residue. Many gasoline additives leave residues that accumulate on the sensor. Silicone contamination from certain fuel system products is particularly damaging. Coolant contamination. If your engine has a small coolant leak into the combustion chamber, combustion leaves a white coating on the sensor that kills the sensing element. Here's the critical distinction. Carbon deposits and oil ash can be cleaned. Silicone and coolant contamination cannot. A sensor contaminated with silicone or coolant needs replacement. How do you tell the difference? A dirty sensor reads sluggishly, but still produces voltage between 0.1 and 0.9 volts. It just responds slowly. A dead sensor produces a flatline voltage reading that never changes. If your scan tool shows a sensor stuck at exactly 0.45 volts, it's dead. Replace it. But if it's moving slowly with long pauses between readings, that's contamination. That's cleanable. What the Japanese method actually is. I call it the Japanese method because I learned the core principles from Toyota factory technicians who've been using these techniques for decades. American mechanics often replace parts first and ask questions later. Japanese mechanics try to restore parts to working condition before replacing them. It's a philosophy rooted in the idea that parts fail for reasons, and understanding those reasons is more valuable than just swapping components. The Japanese method combines 3 things: a specific chemical cleaning process that dissolves carbon deposits without damaging the ceramic sensing element, a controlled heating cycle that burns off residue the chemical can't dissolve, a precise reinstallation procedure that protects the sensor threads and ensures accurate readings after cleaning. Here's why most other cleaning methods fail. People use the wrong chemicals that damage the ceramic element, or they skip the heating cycle. You can't just spray a sensor with carburetor cleaner and call it clean. The Japanese method works from the outside in, then uses heat to drive out contamination from inside the sensor. Tools and materials you'll need. Gather everything before starting. An oxygen sensor socket, usually 22 millimeters or 7/8 of an inch. Not a regular socket. It has a slot cut into the side for the wire. A breaker bar or long ratchet handle. Oxygen sensors get torqued in hard from heat cycling and can be stubborn. Penetrating oil spray, PB blaster or liquid wrench, not WD-40. A glass jar with a lid. Must be glass, not plastic. White vinegar. Genuine distilled white vinegar only. Baking soda. A small wire brush with brass bristles, not steel. Steel scratches the sensor housing. Compressed air. Anti-seize compound for reassembly. A digital multimeter or OBD2 scanner to verify the sensor works after cleaning. Total cost of materials, about $25 to $30. Compare that to $450 to $600 for new OEM oxygen sensors. The cleaning process, step by step. Step 1. Identify and locate your oxygen sensor. Most Japanese cars have 2 to 4 oxygen sensors. The upstream sensors are before the catalytic converter. The downstream sensors are after. Focus on upstream sensors because they get dirty fastest and affect performance most. For most Toyotas and Lexus models, the upstream sensor is on the exhaust manifold. For Hondas, it's near the front of the exhaust pipe. For Subarus, you'll find it on both sides of the Y pipe. Step 2. Let the engine cool down completely. Never remove an oxygen sensor from a hot engine. The threads expand when hot and can seize or strip. Let the car sit for at least 2 hours. Cold morning is ideal. Step 3. Apply penetrating oil generously. Spray penetrating oil directly onto the threads where the sensor meets the exhaust pipe. Wait 20 to 30 minutes. This is important. Don't rush this step. If the sensor has been in there for more than 50,000 miles, apply it twice with 30 minutes between applications. Step 4. Remove the sensor. Using your oxygen sensor socket and breaker bar, turn counterclockwise to loosen. Apply steady pressure rather than sharp jerking movements. If it's stuck, apply more penetrating oil and wait another 30 minutes. Never force it. Once loose, unplug the wire connector before fully removing the sensor. Set the removed sensor aside with the wire end pointing up. Step 5. The vinegar soak. Fill your glass jar halfway with white vinegar. Submerge only the sensing element in the vinegar. The wire end and connector should stay above the liquid. Why vinegar? Because it's acetic acid, which dissolves carbon deposits and metal oxides without attacking the ceramic sensing element the way stronger solvents do. This is the Japanese mechanic's preferred cleaning agent. Soak the sensor for exactly 2 to 3 hours. Not overnight, not 30 minutes. 2 to 3 hours is the sweet spot. Step 6. The baking soda neutralization. After the vinegar soak, remove the sensor and rinse thoroughly with clean water. Mix a tablespoon of baking soda in a cup of warm water. Dip the sensing element into this solution for 30 seconds. The baking soda neutralizes any remaining acid from the vinegar. Rinse again with clean water. Step 7. The brass brush cleaning. Using your brass wire brush, gently scrub the exterior of the sensing element. You're removing loosened deposits that the vinegar brought to the surface. Pay special attention to the small ventilation slots in the sensor housing. Clogged slots are a common cause of slow response. If you made it this far, then consider liking this video, giving it a thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice. Step 8. Compressed air blowout. Hold the sensor with the sensing element pointing down and blast compressed air into the ventilation slots for 10 to 15 seconds, rotating the sensor as you go. You should see loose particles blowing out. Step 9. The heat cycle. This is the step most people skip, and it's the most important part of the Japanese method. Using a propane torch or gas stove burner, apply gentle heat to the sensing element for about 20 to 30 seconds. You want the tip to glow very slightly, not bright red. Let it cool for 5 minutes. Repeat this heat and cool cycle 3 times. What this does is burn off any remaining contamination that the vinegar couldn't reach. The heat opens microscopic pores in the ceramic and drives out residue. The cooling cycle contracts the pores and expels burned deposits. This thermal cycling is exactly what Japanese factory technicians use when restoring sensors. It's the key to making the cleaning actually last. Step 10. Final inspection. Under bright light, inspect the sensing element. It should look grayish-white or light tan, not black, not shiny with any coating. If it's still heavily black or has a shiny coating, the sensor is contaminated beyond cleaning. Replacement is necessary. Reinstallation and verification. Step 11. Thread preparation. Apply a small amount of anti-seize compound to the threads. Keep it away from the sensing element. Contaminating the element with anti-seize will ruin the sensor permanently. Step 12. Reinstallation. Thread the sensor in by hand first to prevent cross-threading. Tighten with the oxygen sensor socket to about 30 to 44 foot-pounds of torque. Don't over-tighten. Reconnect the wire connector until it clicks firmly. Step 13. Verification and testing. Start the engine and let it warm up to normal operating temperature, about 10 minutes. With your OBD2 scanner or multimeter, check the sensor readings. A healthy upstream sensor should be switching rapidly between 0.1 and 0.9 volts, making several switches per second at idle. If the sensor is switching rapidly, the cleaning worked. If it's still slow or stuck, the sensor has internal damage that cleaning can't fix. Time for replacement. Take the car for a drive at highway speeds. After 20 to 30 miles, check for check engine lights. If none come back, you're done. How often should you do this? Here's my recommended cleaning schedule. For high-mileage vehicles over 80,000 miles, clean the upstream oxygen sensors every 30,000 miles. For turbocharged engines like Subaru's F820 or Honda's 1.5T, clean every 20,000 to 25,000 miles. Turbo engines run richer during boost, which accelerates sensor contamination. For vehicles that do a lot of short trips or city driving, every 25,000 miles. For highway drivers, every 40,000 miles is sufficient. Following this schedule means you'll likely never need to replace upstream oxygen sensors on most Japanese cars. I've seen Toyotas and Hondas with 250,000 miles still running on original sensors because the owner cleaned them on schedule. What this saves you: new OEM oxygen sensors cost between $150 and $450 each. Most Japanese cars have 2 upstream sensors. Labor to replace them runs $100 to $200. A full oxygen sensor replacement job on a Lexus ES 350, $1,000 to $1,200. Cost of this cleaning procedure: $25 in materials and 2 hours of your time. Over the lifespan of a 300,000-mile Toyota or Honda, you might avoid 2 or 3 sets of sensors. That's $2,000 to $3,600 in savings from a simple cleaning procedure. When you actually need new sensors. This method works incredibly well, but it doesn't work every time. Here's when to replace instead of clean. The sensor produces a flat line voltage that never moves. The sensor housing has visible cracks or damage. The sensor has coolant contamination. You'll see white powdery residue that cleaning won't remove. The sensor has over 150,000 miles. At that mileage, the internal ceramic degrades naturally. The check engine light returns within 1,000 miles of cleaning. In these cases, replace with genuine OEM sensors, not cheap aftermarket units. For Toyota and Lexus, use Denso sensors. For Honda and Acura, use NGK or Denso. For Subaru, use Denso. Match the exact part number to your vehicle. The real cost of ignoring oxygen sensors. Here's what happens when oxygen sensors go bad and you ignore them. Your engine runs rich, burning too much fuel. Fuel economy drops 15% to 25%. That's hundreds of dollars extra per year in gas. The excess fuel washes oil off the cylinder walls, accelerating engine wear. The rich running poisons the catalytic converter. A new catalytic converter costs $500 to $1,500. This is how a $15 cleaning job turns into a $1,500 repair. Spark plugs foul out faster. More unnecessary parts replacements. Your emissions test fails. Don't ignore oxygen sensors. Clean them on a schedule, and they'll keep your engine running efficiently for hundreds of thousands of miles. Your Japanese car deserves better than parts cannon mechanics who replace everything without diagnosing anything. This method treats the actual problem instead of just swapping parts. It saves money, it extends sensor life, and it keeps your engine running the way it was designed to run. That's real maintenance. And now, you know how to do it. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to watch this next video as I'm sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.